Stimulus checks are coming in January. Now, stimulus checks have been incredibly helpful for millions of people in the United States, but with these payments from federal governments having now stopped, state governments are now responsible for sending out their own stimulus checks. Many people are left wondering what benefits are on offer where they live, and some states are offering a fourth stimulus check while other states have alternative options. Now, the financial support available in the United States goes beyond stimulus checks thanks to tax breaks, extended benefit programs, and unemployment benefit increases. A number of states have already sent out the fourth stimulus checks, while others are preparing to bring in new legislation that will help Americans this December, all this month. With 2021 coming to an end, each state is already planning ahead for their future financial plans. From Alabama to the states of Wyoming, there are multiple ways for residents that are financially struggling to receive more cash aid. Now, Wisconsin has brought in the Wisconsin Emergency Rental Assistance Program earlier in 2021, while the state also has an emergency assistance program that gets see in-need families given a one-time off payment. Now, emergency assistance, folks, is offered to low-income families in Wisconsin. Priority is given to families with children and people who may be at most risk, like the seniors or the disabled. Now, the emergency assistance program is administered by the Wisconsin Department of Children and Families. And right now in Alaska, the governor wants to transfer the additional revenues the state earned in November to its own residents into paid bills. And also California, the state has also been the most helpful to its citizens so far, launching the Golden State stimulus in two parts. Now, the checks of the second Golden State stimulus check were for between $600 and $1,100 and should have been received by October 31st. But some of those who filed taxes late or who were due to receive paper might have received the new stimulus checks in December. And also in the state of Hawaii, lawmakers have given out $2,200 to teachers. Now, stimulus check payments were due by the end of the year in New Mexico. They could collect up to $750, everybody. But so far today, the Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell said that there aren't many Democrats who agree with Senator Manchin's policy of positions and appear to suggest that the West Virginian could actually consider switching parties. Mitch McConnell actually said, "I think what Manchin is discovering is that there just aren't any Democrats left in the Senate that are terribly concerned about debt and deficit and inflation. So he feels like a man alone." McConnell has recently weighed in on the idea of Joe Manchin becoming a Republican as his Democratic West Virginia faces criticism. Manchin has made no public indication that he intends to change his political affiliation. What are your thoughts on Joe Manchin, everybody, and everybody's work in Congress? Tell me in the comments down below. Until next time, have a great day.
You know, in this country, we should not have many, many millions of seniors who have no teeth in their mouths or become sick because they cannot adequately digest their food. That is not acceptable. We cannot continue to have God knows how many seniors who are unable to communicate and listen to their grandchildren or their friends because they can't afford the outrageous cost of hearing aids. And people cannot read newspapers because they can't afford eyeglasses. And that is why, as we continue the fight for a Medicare for all single payer system, at least now, we have got to guarantee that Medicare cover dental care, eyeglasses, and hearing aids. Truth of the matter is, as you have heard from Pramila and Maurice and others, the overwhelming majority of the American people are on our side. They are sick and tired of Washington catering to the needs of the rich and the powerful and campaign contributors. They want us to stand up for them. So that is where we are right now. We are in a moment where if we stand strong, we can bring forth transformative change to improve the lives of working families, Black and white and Latino, Native American, Asian American. We can restore the faith of the American people that their government can work for them and not just the well-connected.
What Senator Sanders has done in the U.S. Senate over the past few months has been simply extraordinary. Now, as the chair of the Senate Budget Committee, Senator Sanders has shepherded through a legislative program that, when passed, will transform the lives of tens of millions of working class people across this country. And he has been a strategic partner both to the movements and people's organizations and to House progressives, as both have worked to navigate Democrats' narrow majorities on the path to victory. Senator Sanders, thank you for all of your efforts. The floor is yours.
Reese, thank you very much. And let me not only thank you, but thank the progressive movement throughout this country for electing great progressives to the Congress, more progressives there than we've ever had in recent history, and for mobilizing the American people to justice. So thank you very much for what you are doing, for what Greaser is doing. And let me also thank Pramila Jayapal. She has played an extraordinary role in leading the Progressive Caucus in a way that I would never have imagined. Brothers and sisters, this is a pivotal and unprecedented moment in American history. That's the simple truth. I think all of you know that for the last many decades, the people on top, the very wealthiest people in this country, have become much richer. You now have the totally absurd situation of two people, two billionaires, owning more wealth than the bottom 40%, top 1% owning more wealth than the bottom 92%. You got the 1% owning more wealth than the entire middle class. So in America, you got tens of millions of people whose problems have long been neglected by Congress and by presidents, while the very rich get richer. And what we are finally saying is we're not going to ignore those problems anymore. That now is the time for us to stand up for the working class of this country and tell the billionaires.
I'm going to start with a quote that comes right from you. At a time when senior poverty is going up, our job must be to expand, not cut, Social Security. What's your plan?
Well, Scott, that does sound like me. We have throughout this country millions of seniors trying to get by on $12,000, $13,000, $14,000 a year. I don't know how they do it. They can't afford the prescription drugs they need. They can't afford to heat their homes adequately. They can't afford the food they need to maintain their health. To my mind, when I hear Republicans talking about cutting Social Security, that is reprehensible. Even worse, talking about privatizing Social Security. So what we have got to do as a nation is, first of all, to understand Social Security is not going broke. Social Security has $2.8 trillion in the trust fund, can pay out every benefit owed for the next 19 years. But that's not good enough. What we need to do is expand Social Security benefits because people can't make it on $11,000, $12,000, $13,000 a year. And we have to extend the solvency of Social Security a lot longer than 19 years. What do? Well, we do what's obvious, what I think most Americans know we should do. You're making $118,000 a year. She's making $5 million a year. Right now, you're both paying the same amount into the Social Security Trust Fund. At a time of massive income and wealth inequality in America, where the rich are becoming much richer and the middle class is disappearing, it is totally appropriate to say to people who have a whole lot of money, guess what, you're going to have to contribute more into Social Security. What we do is start at $250,000.